Good morning. Good morning. Java Delight will uplift you. Stay tuned. The show is about to begin. Grab your coffee. Stay tuned. This show is about to begin.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for tuning in to Java Delight, your mid-morning, your early morning, your late evening, whatever it is, that shot of Java with a little bit of delight just right inside you. Today, we have an amazing show planned, from the Queen of South Africa being able to present us with her beautifulness and how wonderful she's doing. She's going to tell us all about giraffes and sharks today. To, we have Miss Jessica Dugas going to be joining us. Her new show with the Jacksons premiered last night. We're going to talk about that a little bit. We're going to talk about the concert. That's a nonprofit concert coming up in December, to finding your voice and what that means. Because truth be told, finding your voice and speaking truth is very difficult at times. And sometimes having those hard conversations are essential. Tears may be the greatest cleanse. Guys, we were a few minutes late this morning, but as everybody knows, sometimes there is an important things you have to take care of, like making sure you get the shit out of you, like get everywhere you go, keep moving the best and get the shit brought up so that way it can be taken care of. Jessica's laughing at me in the background on that one. She's like, that's a good way of putting it. So, I am Brandon Croucher, CEO of Delight Cafe. Thank you guys for being here. Please do us a favor. Don't forget to go hit the like, the subscribe, the share button. Let your family and friends know about us. Let them know who we are and bring that positivity into the life of everyone around you. All right? So, Elsa, how are you, my sweetheart?
I am so well. How are you?
I am doing well. I that's the easiest way I can say it. I'm doing well. I'm trying to get this to play in the background so that way I could see what's going on the show, and it doesn't want to play today. Apparently, we don't have a show today. Like, we're just not going to go on. We're not going to show anybody anything. We're just going to sit here.
Oh,
cool.
Okay.
You want to just sit here and look at it?
Doing it.
Do you want to just look at everybody today? You and I could just sit here and look at everyone?
Yes, we have a staring contest. Wait, I can win.
All right, you ready? Set. And go. There's less viewership than people on the screen.
We scared them away.
They're like, I saw Jessica lean forward. She's like, I got this shit. Watch me. Watch me. Jessica's probably going to use all my F words for the week just to be cautious. I want to warn everybody. Elsa and I are having our fun today, and I have to be honest, it's been a wonderful morning. My mom woke up and was like all about talking to us about what's going on and how she's doing new things, and she's going to be going to horseback riding today, and then she's complaining about her back hurting, and I'm like, so I don't know what you're doing, Mom. Like, what is in your day? What's on your day plan? Well, I'm going to go horseback riding still. Okay, got it. So I am here. I had a meeting last night. A good meeting.
Tell me more.
I can't say too much. Okay. I know. Apparently I say too much on Java as is. But I literally got a meeting that is a very high-end potential meeting that went very well for the future. So February, there's a lot of events and things coming up, and what I could say is I'm going to be helping with the NBA and the LGBTQ. I can say that. What we're going to be doing when you're sitting with the NBA and they say things like, that's genius, and I have no idea what I said, it kind of makes me laugh. Like, I really didn't even know what I did, and they seem to like my ideas. I have another meeting with them at the end of the week, where we're actually talking about more than just a day, but having a couple days worth of things. And it's just really cool, fun, different events that I get to use my creativity, and that's where I thrive. I thrive in chaos and creativity. That's where I thrive. Apparently, it's not a good combo.
Cannabis, creativity, and chaos.
I hate you for that because it came out my nose, my coffee. Oh man, that burned. That burned.
How much points do I get for that?
Oh, you get 3 life points for that. Good Lord. Like, I didn't expect it. You made me laugh. It came straight out my nose. Bob says your mom is a sweetheart. Bob and my mom connected in such a cool way. Like, Bob just sat there telling stories, and my mom just was floored by how awesome Bob's stories were of his faith, his outreach, his heart, and how he gets out there to connect with people. And it made it a lot more entertaining. So like Bob's stories, like tomorrow, Ilse, I want you to remember this. You have to ask Bob, okay? Hey, Bob, how did you meet your wife?
Okay, I'll ask him.
It is
one.
If you guys have seen The Notebook, guess what? It's 10 times better than The Notebook. Like, for real, it is the cutest effing story. He sat here telling us it, and Bob's heart just opens. And like, I don't think there was a dry eye in the house, and there was only 5 of us here. Like, even the dog was crying. That's how adorable Bob's story is for meeting his wife.
I really want to hear that. Please, I have to remember. I don't think I'll forget to ask that question. Morning, CK. So I had an interesting evening as well.
Yeah.
So I made my video for the 30-day Brawlers Challenge. I don't know if you saw. I posted it on Facebook. Please go share and like. It's on TikTok as well. So this morning was day 1, and my friend came to visit me. And I actually made another video, which I also posted on TikTok. And let me just quickly say that it is not easy doing this challenge. My self-confidence dropped to about 20% less because I'm
from taking your bra off?
For not wearing a bra in public, and it doesn't even look bad. You can't even see it. And mentally, I was beside myself this morning. I thought, how the hell am I going to do this? How am I going to walk into public, into a shop, and know that I do not have a bra on? I already feel so.
I've been walking around without underwear. I haven't worn underwear for about a year now. And
underwear is a different situation because nobody can know. Nothing's hanging on your knees or on your belly button or wherever it should hang. I mean, I'm almost 40. They've had support for so long, and they have just been like, girls, you're on your own now. So I told my friend, and she helped me make it. Where I'm just reaching out to people because I think this is going to be a mental challenge, as well as a challenge against creating awareness of this. My friend actually tried it. She said she was almost out of the house, and she just couldn't get herself to walk out of the house without a bra. And she turned around and she put back a bra back on. And when she got to me, she says, I tried. I'm going to try again. She says, but this is going to be very, very difficult. So I don't think people realize the mental effect that something like that. So can you imagine having breast cancer and removing one or both breasts and how that affects you mentally, especially, and then still dealing with the cancer and everything. I take my hat off to these women. I don't think people realize what it takes to go through it. So day 1, I am so self-conscious and uncomfortable.
I think Jessica said it. Jessica said it great right here. She says it's interesting how it affects it affects us. So ask how I feel after 7 pregnancies. And honestly, I can't imagine the two of you, women in general, like it's one of these things where I don't know what that feeling is. So when we had Sydney on yesterday and he's explaining the traumatic stuff behind it of what can happen and how it affects breast cancer and the studies that are being overshadowed so that way other things can be sold like luxury bras and all this, his answers were phenomenal. You are a braless goddess, Elsa. Like I love it. And honestly, it's a journey that you will get through. And honestly, Elsa, I was out last night, and while I'm at dinner, somebody asks me, they go, "So I turned on your show this morning at the NBA people," and I'm like, "Yeah," and they're like, "You guys are talking about like just no bras anywhere," and I'm like, "Yeah, we have wows now. Whip them out Wednesdays. That way, every Wednesday, women know."
I like that. Whip them out Wednesdays. Not hump day anymore. Screw that. It's wow day. You got me there. Thank you. Thank you.
That's what I do. From there, it's all you guys. God, why, guys? My show's done today. But like, I, as a male, when I say these things, it sounds like I'm like, ooh, boobies, and like that's what people assume, and that's not even the proper term. As he said, he's like their breasts, and a man is a penis, and he was using medical terms on purpose because it separates the fun conversation to a serious one about health issues. And what I liked is how he did this so smoothly, but having no bras. And we're having him back October 13th to talk about this because Breast Cancer Awareness Month is the entire month of October. And he went through explaining these things to a point where my mind was blown at the studies that him and his wife have done. And to know that they have these links back to breast cancer and it's not being talked about that way it just fascinates me. And then when he talked about the mammogram, so these people I'm with are these guys and they're like, "So what are you telling me? You're going to tell everybody not to wear bras?" And I'm like, "Yes." And he's like, "Well, that's just good for all the guys." Well, the waitress hears this. And the waitress is like a 21-year-old girl. And she goes, "Oh, well, I don't wear a bra." And she does this thing with her shirt and she shows us Walmart sells these things that are like tank tops that are a little bit thicker or a little bit bigger. And they go around you in a different way, but it's so you don't have to wear a bra but not be self-conscious. No idea what we're talking about. He's just talking about women not wearing bras. She had no idea of the show, and she shows us this. And I've never seen this before. I'm not a woman, so I wouldn't know much about bras. When I walked into Victoria's Secret, it's a cami. I have no idea what a cami is. I feel like that's something like
they take soft material, so there's no wire. It pulls over like a soft tank top type of thing. And then it doesn't have the wire and it doesn't pull, but it doesn't give you that support. But it just makes you not feel as naked under a t-shirt as you feel when you used to wearing a bra.
Can I ask a question? Actually, I'll ask my question when Jessica gets on here because we're talking about finding your voice. And the self-consciousness is where I'm kind of a little bit understanding. Like, and I mean this in, ladies and gentlemen, hey, Jess, give me a thumbs up or thumbs down because I'm going to hit your button in a second because I want to ask a question. You need to be here. Cool. Ladies and gentlemen, Jessica Dugas.
Good morning, my beautiful braless babes.
I took mine off today. The lace just was not my color. I'll tell you that.
It did not give me enough support.
Well, here's my thing. Ilse mentioned self-consciousness. Ilse has 3 kids. My mom has 3 kids. My mom is self-conscious. She even said, "I could not go without a bra." You have 1 million kids. How are we? Like, the self-consciousness is very understanding. I could understand, especially after having a kid. They talk about this for women. But being free like that, doesn't that be something that makes you feel more comfortable? What's the self-conscious behind that? I'm asking because I have no clue, so I can't understand.
I think the waitress that, you guys encountered that was listening, I think not the waitress, the person that you were with saying it's going to be fun for guys, because I think that's part of it. I think that we are deal with immaturity sometimes from people, and not just men. There's women that are immature about stuff like that as well. And I think a lot of it honestly changed for me because I breastfed each of my children. And so that part of it, it starts to change you a little bit. You're like, boobs are about more than just, being eye candy for men. And they actually give life to a child, but they can be used for so many things, some fun, some practical. I think, I very rarely wear a bra. I also don't go out a whole lot, honestly. But when I do go out, there are times when I find myself like, I should probably put a bra. Like if we're going to go to like a fancy restaurant or something like that, just because I sometimes feel better at how I look, like CK Ford was just saying about how I look in an outfit or something compared to how I look without one after having 7 pregnancies, 6 babies, breastfed, because your breasts change after that.
Correct.
Right.
Well, so I like how you phrase that, is like going out. It's about the support and how we look and feel in our clothes. 100%. But that's what he was talking about, is how Sydney was saying, like, your body will naturally pull them back up, is what he was saying. That'll make them perky and stuff. Now, you've had kids and you've been wearing it for your life, like, and all that. It's one of those things where it is different for the longer amount of time you've had on it. But I'm curious at the fact that like I laugh because right here, this is the person I knew who would throw a comment in there. Anytime I'd tell her like, well, bras are bad, she would tell me like, no, they're not. And I'm like, okay, like, why don't you want to wear a bra? She's like, when you have big boobs, Brandon, I can't ever go for a run. They're going to hit me in the face and stuff. And I always thought that was a cute way of rebuttaling, but there is a truth behind that. They do get uncomfortable.
100%.
They do need and I'm saying that as a fun thing, but for the perverts, as I would say, like, we all enjoy boobs. If you see a good pair of boobs, I think everybody looks. And I mean that as a funny way of saying it, but the truth is behind it, that's also there and most likely looks very nice because of a bra, because of being held up to be something to make it look nice, to bring attention to it. So, well,
that's my question is like, you hear people say stuff like that all the time, like a good pair of boobs. Well, what's good? What is it about it that you enjoy? Because of the fact that in real life, there's like Sarah was saying, gravity. I've talked about breastfeeding and pregnancy, and when you gain and lose weight, especially if it's in a short period of time, that can completely change things. And I joke all the time. As soon as I start to lose weight, that's the first place. That's the first place. And it's like, Jesus, why do I even try?
But it only gains last. It loses first, but when you pick up weight, it's always the stomach and the butt that gets bigger, and then only the boobs. So it works the other way around.
Take it out of my stomach and leave my behind alone. Leave my boobs alone. Just leave the rest alone.
Now, I wouldn't know. Like Ilse, I know she's not today because we've had the conversation. Whatever. But in public, how do you not? Like, there's that issue of like, you want to feel comfortable of who you are, and I don't want to be the guy. I wouldn't be the guy, but there are guys who'd be like, what do you do about that? And as a guy, how can I be more appropriate for women? Because I can't walk up and be like, here's your bra. Like, that's just inappropriate. Sarah used to beat me up when I did that. So
true. I mean, truthfully, you're not going to encounter that a lot. Like, I would say a huge majority, the vast majority of men are not going to like stare at you or come up and say something, or, I mean, that's not a majority. But my thing is, if it is a majority, where the hell are you? Like, can we pay attention to where we are? Like, where are we hanging out that this is a thing that people are behaving that way? So I think that's another question as well. I don't know.
It's 100%, because this is a topic that everybody's going to have their own opinion on for different things. And Donnell Jackson says, Brett, that's funny, because just treat me like a dude is what Britt said. And I think that's a good way of saying it. It's start with that level of respect, that it doesn't matter whether there's a bra or not, or I'm not wearing underwear or not. Like, I can't tell you how many people have, when I'm running something, walked up to me and privately lean in and go, so you're not wearing any underwear? And I'm like, why the hell are you looking at my stuff that much? Like, and it makes me, I swear to God, it's weird to me. But people notice. There
is a DJ on TikTok. I can't remember his name right now, but he always has the camera in a certain angle. And so he's DJing like a set, and he did one video and women started going nuts because he wears these sweatpants while he's DJing. And the comments were just going, and he never says a word acknowledging the comments, never, because you can see things. It's very clear that there is no support under the sweatpants. And he just keeps making these DJ videos that go viral, and not because of the music.
Is he like related to like another, like the elephants? Is he related to elephants? Wow. Man, I wish I didn't evolve from squirrels.
So, I mean, that's what I'm saying, though. To be fair, it's not just men that you can see, though. I'm looking at these comments going, some of y'all should be ashamed of yourself. We're gonna talk about finding your voice today, ladies and gentlemen, and not in that way. I am sorry for the women of the world if they are all based on these women that are in the comments of this guy's video. It is a riot.
Women are nasty. Women can sometimes be nastier than men. I don't think. Really, that's why you can't just say it's one gender. You can't just say it's one
race. There's just some
one
nasty humans out there.
Exactly.
Yes,
right. Some of them are nasty.
So last night I'm watching the Jacksons and I'm listening to their conversation and I'm asking questions because I'm trying to get to know. They did phenomenal. From who said I love you first, I had to ask because I was positive it was going to be Donnell. I was positive he said I love you first, and when she said, "Oh," my heart broke. I was like, "Damn, I would have lost money on that bet."
Yeah, but I would have guessed Donnell too, actually.
Right? And he was so... Yeah. They honestly, guys, next Wednesday, I'm going to be pushing it again because they brought...
Wednesday after next. Every other Wednesday.
Oh, it's every other... I'm so sorry. So, Wednesday after next, I will make sure we're marketing that because the truth is, guys, it was a wonderful conversation about male and female, and these two just kept it balanced. I had fun asking some silly questions that they laughed at and then came back and answered. And I learned more about them and different sexualities. When she started going, whether you're pansexual, whether you're bi, I don't care who you are. I was dying in my car. I'm listening, going, this is the greatest thing ever. Because she was honest, but with a very good message behind it. And wasn't being insulting. So loved it. And yeah. Britt, she says we're all sexual beings. It's natural to have attraction.
Absolutely.
Now, I agree.
It's how you treat the attraction.
Right.
How you treat the person you are attracted to. Are you going to treat them like a piece of trash, or are you going to have respect for them? That's where it comes from.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is the respect part. And I think that gets left behind because let's be honest. If I walk up and a girl's not wearing a bra and I'm using me, so that way no men think I'm using them, okay? And I start hitting on a girl because she has no bra on and all that. Am I actually getting to know her, or am I focusing on the physicalness of something that, you know? And that's where a lot of us have a hard time, like, breaking those things. But
well,
like,
what's interesting. I watch Married at First Sight on Wednesdays, and one of my favorite shows, because there's a lot of relationship stuff in there. It's a train wreck, but if you can get
good.
You can get past the train wreck part. There's some good shit in there. So, but anyway. There was a girl on wedding day, one of the girls this season, they're on season 13. All of the women, in fact, all 5 women in the weddings had very low cut dresses this season. And everybody on all of the, groups and pages where people are dishing about the show, all of them had something to say about the fact that you could see more breast in this episode, in this season, than ever before. And the one girl, she has a larger chest, and they were not like, perked up to her neck like you see a lot of times. And people just constantly were like, she should have had a better bra. She shouldn't be wearing that. She shouldn't be showing anything at all. Her boobs are too big. And it just, it was really disappointing to see how much they pinned these women together based on something that all of us have. And they're all different.
Yes, we don't have control on what they're going to look like. I mean, other people don't have control what their faces look like. I mean, so how do you justify flashing somebody for something they have no control over?
Yeah.
Agree. 100% agree. I'm trying to answer for guys. And I mean this in a sense that, like, oh, boobs hurt. No, like, I'm answering, like, how do I, man, because
there's a difference between a man and a caveman, Brandon. I think it's and a Neanderthal. I mean, listen, are you going to be a mature man?
Yes.
And realize that, hey, any
this is what bodies do.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I love that. And I want to point out, there's a lot more men out there that have bigger man boobs than women. So, guys, do yourself a favor. Realize when you take your shirt off, you don't get turned on by yourself. Stop being turned on by other things, okay? I'm just going to throw that out there as a guy. But,
oh, Lord.
I'm sorry if that offended anybody, but if you have man boobs, like, I could keep going all day. So, Jessica, finding your voice. You and I were talking backstage, and sometimes finding your voice can be very difficult. It could be not even knowing you're hiding your voice, to not even knowing that when you speak your voice, you're not speaking from deep down inside with the truth. Help us understand finding your voice better, especially with WOWs coming up now. Whip them out Wednesdays. I made that a joke so that way people can have fun with it. So please know I want that to be a positive thing. Yeah.
That's our name, and that's sticking from now on.
Well, think about it. I want you to think. It's when he comes back as a Wednesday. If we have WOW, whip them out Wednesdays. You're gonna get humped probably. So let's just get through with the hump.
Oh, goodness. I'm excited about this topic because of the fact that I have Ray Coates, who has been on Java before. And also I have Dean McMurray, who's the military medium on the show on Friday. So on the Breakthrough Show. And both of these situations, so Ray specifically talks about his journey and how he found his own voice and now sets the stage to help others find their voice and use their voice. And also, while the military medium didn't talk about that directly, it tied into his story, because here's this guy who did over 20 years in the United States Army and is dealing with, throughout this, a spiritual awakening where he's realizing he can see dead people, as they said in the Sixth Sense. And this is not a line of work where that kind of woo is often appreciated. And so he had to learn how do I express this? Do I express this? Is it safe for me to do so? So I kind of love how both of this topic of finding your voice is a theme without it being an official theme on Friday. Mm-hmm. And it really got me thinking a lot about finding your voice. And I think the biggest thing we need to realize straight out the gate is that it's finding your voice is more than just physically using your voice. It's more than just expressing yourself verbally. There are lots of ways that we can express ourselves and have a voice other than just verbally. We can write, we can sing, we can use our voice by simply not wearing a bra. And I mean, there's just lots of ways that we can do that. But for the sake of time and what we're talking about today, I want to talk about using your voice, like the physical act of speaking, because I think that it is so important. And I think we have been conditioned from a very young age to be quiet. And to not say the things that we need to say, we're taught not to express ourselves. Children, you hear all the time, children should be seen and not heard. And that kind of thing, even if that's not what was told to us directly, we're often, I've checked myself so many times as a parent of how many times I've said, shh, or go play, or not right now, or, when the kids are just trying to get your attention and just trying to express themselves. And so I think there's three things that, how do we know that, so we're all adults here, and how do we know that we need to work on our voice? Because some of us are like, oh, I'm talking in the comments. I talk a lot. I don't have a problem using your voice. I would question that. And these are some of the things. So number one is the obvious. If you're not using your voice at all, do you hold yourself back? Have you held yourself back? Have you ever gone to say something and said, oh, I don't know if I should say that? Or have you ever found yourself getting really frustrated or angry inside because you haven't said the things that you need to say? So the first one is simple. How do you know you need to work on it? You're not using it. Seems very simple. The second thing is maybe less obvious, because like I said, a lot of people are like, well, I talk a lot, so I clearly don't have a problem. If you don't have control when you're using your voice, then that could be covering up for a lot of things you're not saying, from the important things that you're saying. So if you're constantly just talking about the weather and, going on and on and on about what are the deep, important things that you're not talking about. I think that's something really, so if you find yourself in this conversation going, I don't have a problem with that, I talk a lot. What are the things you're talking about? What are the things that you're not saying? And then the third way that you know that you have things that you need to work on with your voice is if you have health issues around your throat and your neck. So we know about the energetics, the chakra system, the different areas of our bodies that hold energy. The throat chakra is one of the easiest things, in my opinion, to become blocked off because we're not expressing ourselves in the way that we need to. And Ray and I talk about this on Friday's episode. He actually didn't know that I was going to go there, but we both kind of got giddy that we geeked out for a minute about the goddess of affirmations, Louise Hay. But I asked Ray, because Ray had throat cancer. And I asked Ray about, did you look back from pre-cancer and see that you might have had issues expressing yourself? Or that there were things that and he said, I'm so glad you asked that. Absolutely. Like, I see that now, of having those issues with things being blocked off. And because it's healing when we use our voice. We're not allowing things to fester inside of us. If there's a book, so Louise Hay has You Can Heal Your Life, and there's a workbook that goes with it as well. But then this is a Heal Your Body is a compilation book of just the affirmations based on different dis-ease within your body. And the throat says specifically avenue of expression. It's a channel of creativity. If you have a sore throat, it is stemming from the inability to speak up for oneself, swallowed anger, stifled creativity, and a refusal to change. So if you're finding yourself getting the tonsillitis, sore throat, bronchitis can tie into it a little bit too if it's higher up, any ulcers in your mouth, issues with your tongue, any of this stuff. And when I first realized this in my own life was when I had the lymph nodes pop up in my neck back in 2017. And I realized that was, oh shit, I've literally spent 37 years not expressing myself in the way that I should. And when I started doing that, it started to change. I was getting bronchitis and strep throat like twice a year, like a lot of my life. I would always have issues in that area. I have not had that since that time. Not at all. Go ahead, Brandon.
I'm not making a joke. I'm asking a very serious question that's going to sound like a joke. Biting your tongue, biting your lip from different things. Would that be part of it too? Because I have bit my tongue and my lip every single day for a week now. Like literally, like my inside of my lip has a blister in it because I bit it so hard.
Right.
Is that something?
Yeah. I mean, and I kind of see things like that as fairly synchronistic. So if we're saying bite your tongue and you're biting your tongue all the time, you have to ask yourself, what am I biting my tongue about here? Like, and there's a lot of different things. I'm telling you, this is life-changing. And it's not meant to like go through it and say, okay, I can look up, lung cancer, and that is the only reason I have lung cancer, but it adds to it. The emotions, we know science tells us that our emotions play into physical disease. And so, I think the whole point of all of this with the voice is that if you keep having all of this stuff with your teeth, your jaw, your tongue, your throat, your upper respiratory system, even going up a little bit into your sinuses, all of this right here, if you constantly are having those issues, then you have to ask yourself, what am I not expressing here?
So you're fine. I talk a lot. You know that. I'm trying to learn how to be quiet. I'm breathing in between. It's that silence.
I just have a statement. And I think people do not express themselves because they do not know how the other person is going to react when you speak your truth. So that's where the lying comes in and all that, because we are so conditioned to worry about other people's feelings more than our own.
Right.
We were taught that from a young age, your feelings don't matter. And that is where your throat chakra actually blocks up, because you told, as you said, when you're a child, you're not supposed to be in the conversation and everything. And we actually teach the younger generation that their feelings don't matter and they're not allowed to speak up for themselves.
I think it's important for us to understand the consequences of using our voices. And I say the word consequences, and I want it to be received as good, bad, and different. I'm not talking about a lot of times when we say the word consequences, people are like, "Oh, I'm going to get in trouble." There's positive, negative, indifferent consequences for literally everything we do using our voice. And so we have to understand that there are consequences. When we are not mindful of how we are using our voices, we can hurt others. But we also have to remember in that we are not responsible we are responsible for how we present things, but we are not responsible for how it is received. I struggle a little bit with that, because I feel like it's really easy to take that and go, well, I can just be an asshole and people can take it however they want. That's on them. You know what I mean?
And that's kind of where I was going to go with these comments is just say whatever comes to your brain. Who cares? If they don't like it, fuck them. Like things like that. There is a concept of that there. It is knowing that like whatever comes, but it's when you just say whatever comes, words come out. Like I know Jessica and Ilse a little bit right now. I can choose certain things to say that if Jessica and I were in a dispute, I could say things that would be daggers to her on the words because they just come first thing. Mm-hmm. It's not just speaking. It's taking that moment to take the words that are being said, digest them. And then when your response comes back, it's not a fuck it. It's, that's what it's going to be when you set it down. But at the end of the day, it's choosing the words to be respectful to both sides, even if you don't like what's going to be there. Like, if I'm supposed to have a meeting with Jessica and I don't show, okay? Don't make a face. But I don't show. Jessica's not going to literally just all of a sudden Jessica's not going to call me back. So, first off, fuck you. Second off, and fuck your mama. Next, she's not going to do that. She's going to wait and have a conversation with me. And as much as it eats her up inside, and I don't want to ever do that to her, it's one of those things where she's choosing her words to talk to me with respect. And I have the choice at that point to take it as respect, or she's just someone that wants to tear me down. Fuck it. And I don't see that with her.
Yeah.
Is that make sense?
But I think too, I am not at all saying, I agree with what you're saying, Britt Brad as well, that it's not necessarily that we need to we don't need to hold things back. We don't need to hold things back. I'm not telling you to not, if you're pissed off, be pissed off. If you're angry, be angry. But I think choosing your words is good, but also allow yourself to express yourself in a way you want and practice it. So knowing your audience, just if I'm royally pissed off at Brandon, okay, and I can't find my words to express that in a way that is loving and kind, which is the qualities that I want to embody, then I know that I probably need to have someone else to talk to express how I really feel and organize my thoughts and feel good about that in order to maintain a professional relationship with Brandon. So you need to. You can practice. As part of, I have a couple things I wrote down for how we can actually do this and start using our voices. And one is just to use it. And part of that is to practice, especially if you know you have control issues. If you know you were not born, the stork forgot the filter when he dropped you on the porch. The stork forgot.
Right.
That's what happened with my husband. It fell out in the next country over.
I love your husband, him and I. Oh, now I see why.
Bless his heart, he can't stick up for himself while he's at work. I love you, honey. Okay, so practice if there are control issues. Know your audience. If you know, I think, look, if we love someone and we care about someone, we don't want to hurt them. Most of us don't want to hurt the other person. So why would you then allow yourself to just word vomit something that is going to hurt them? Practice, find someone else to talk to, know your audience. And then the last part of using your voice, that this first part of just use it, is you're never guaranteed. You could take your words and you could slather it in a delicious caramel, and you could wrap it in a beautiful wrap with a beautiful bow, and somebody's still going to take it the wrong way. Somebody's still going to take it in a way that you didn't intend. So we have to let go of perfection and expectations when it comes to using our voices, because you are not guaranteed that no matter how many times you practice, no matter how well you know your audience, no matter how pretty you box up your words, that somebody's not going to take that some kind of way. So in what Britt Brad said, just fuck it. There's only so much you can do. Yes, talk about it. Yeah.
Did you see Sarah? He always up for semantics and some antics. Yeah, that sounds like me. That laugh was so cynical behind it. Oh man, it was great.
The second thing I wrote down is to be a person of your word. And this goes back to what I was talking about not having control when we talk sometimes. And I will tell you a little why I'm passionate about this, super quick side story. I have a good friend of mine that I was friends with since high school. We were really close in high school, and she wanted me to come up for her wedding. And I kept saying, I will be there. 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 I will make it happen. And then something happened and I couldn't be there. And I felt horrible. I felt horrible because I felt like I promised and I can't be there. And then I said, I feel so bad. I got you the most amazing gift. I hadn't gotten her anything yet. I got you the most, because I was trying so desperately to make up for it because I felt so horrible about not following through. I got you the best gift. I can't wait for you to see it. So then I got her the gift. I went out after I said it and got her the gift. And then I said, you're going to love this gift. I'm going to put it in the mail. Put it in the mail. Kept saying I put it in the mail. I didn't put it in the mail. And it just never got, and it was this constant, like me trying, this was like 20 years ago, of me trying so desperately to show up, and I kept failing myself, and I kept talking and blah, 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 to make up for my own lack of following through. And it was after that happened that I went, this is not the person that I am. This is not the person I want to be. And at what point did I not feel safe enough to just say, hey, I can't come and I'm sorry for that. And just let it be. And just let it be.
Jessica, you're speaking like words today, girl. Like I'm sitting back just going, I don't need to talk. I want to let our guests just talk to you today. Shit, I could just hide behind everything today.
That's why I'm passionate about it, because I've been in that position where it makes us feel like shit when we're not a person of our word. But so the more that we just be that person of our word, follow through, and maybe not yap as much as we want to, of promising and over promising, and because it's better to just use our words to just say I'm sorry and leave it alone.
Can I jump on the I'm sorry?
Yeah.
The I'm sorry has to be an understanding also.
Right.
I used to be phenomenal at the
right.
I'm so sorry, but like I really didn't know what I did wrong. Like as a kid, my parents would yell at me. 100%. You get it. So when you say sorry, it's truly being truthful. God, Britt Brad's like with us today. It's like she's in the conversation perfectly. But like,
be truthful,
it is
be honest.
You have to know those boundaries inside yourself, that when you've hurt somebody else, you understand that pain, and that's why when you say sorry, you mean it. Be truthful.
Right.
Excuse me. Be truthful.
Right.
Jessica Dugas with finding your voice today.
I want to grab the last two things before we run out of time really quick.
Yeah.
Third thing, be authentic. Be who you are. Don't use when you use your voice, don't try to emulate somebody else's voice. Don't say something because it's what you think that the other person wants to hear. You've got to be authentic when you use your voice. And the fourth thing is to then use your voice to create a space where others feel safe in using their voice. And now Jessica, that sounds more like listening rather than speaking. No. Are you jumping in to interject all the time? Can you listen without disagreeing? Yes. Can you listen without disagreeing or offering an alternative point of view without asking for permission first? Yes. I want to say that one again. Can you listen without automatically disagreeing or offering an alternative point of view without asking for permission first?
That's very.
And then the third part of that, creating a space where others feel safe using their voices. Are you being judgmental? I have to check what is your face saying right now, Jessica? What is your face saying, Jessica? I have to check myself all the time. Look, and it goes back to what I said before, is that you got to let go of perfection. We're all a work in progress. Not one person, not one. And I would even challenge that, Donnell. I would say, yes, listen to understand, but listen to listen. Just listen to listen, because we're not always guaranteed that we're going to understand. It may be completely outside of our. I listen to people all the time, and I listen because I want to listen, but I don't understand why the hell they're doing what they're doing. I'm not. I don't. I might not even be a place where I frankly want to understand, because it might be something that's so outside. Like, you can come and talk to me all day about the steak and whatnot that you're cooking, and I'm not going to understand it. Because I don't do that. And I'm not in a place where I want to understand it, because I just don't, because I don't eat that, but I'm going to listen. I'll listen, but that doesn't mean that I'm in a place where I want to understand. That's not what I'm here for. So listen, because you want to listen, period.
The thing is, I think we're all guilty of all of that. And
right.
Once you sit and you use your voice and you tell someone what the problem is, and that person apologizes, then you move on from that, and that person just does not do that again. Because I feel if you can't apologize for the same thing twice, especially not something that is so important, and as, let's say, mental abuse or promises being broken or whatever. It's not something that you can just say, oh, sorry, I'll try harder for next time. Oh, sorry, I'll try harder for next time. And that's where the check needs to come in. That's why you need to use your voice, so that you've set your boundaries. If that apology, to see if that apology works, and if that person is supposed to be in your life.
Yeah. Things happen.
Shit happens. It's being understanding of both sides. Jessica, I am looking for. Last week, you had on telling the truth, and I have to be honest. That interview, oh my God, I was literally in my car listening to this, because I drive a lot apparently, and as I'm listening to this, I would like, I love her. She was amazing. Phenomenal interview. I am so excited to hear what's going to be said. Guys, don't forget to text Jessica at her community, 256-685-7092. 256. Gotta wait for it to show up again, because I don't remember.
256-685-7092. Text the word breakthrough.
I was like, I should just point to her. Listen. So, guys, Jessica Dugas, 100% mom, 100% amazing, 100% authentic. And I have to be honest, I am grateful she is not just in my life, but that she believes in the vision for a future, whether it's with or without us. She's pushing for a better future, and that's a leader. So, guys, please know I love her. Follow her and go join her Discord if you're not going to do anything else. Okay, Jessica,
bit.ly bit.ly/Discord breakthrough.
Oh, okay. I was like, what is BIT? Like
bit.ly.
We're forgetting the CH. You're forgetting the CH when you're talking about me. So
BITCH/Brandon Croucher.
OnlyFans, Brandon Croucher.
Bear Care Bear.
Bear Care Bear Brandon. I love it. So Jessica, I love you and thank you for being you. Elsa, are you ready to read our bio of our guest, because he's backstage?
I hope my tongue does not get knotted, and I do not swear when I try and read this. Language barrier, people, just please breathe and be patient with me. Okay, let's do this.
All right, love you. Thank you, Jess.
We are talking to Ibrahim Dar. I think I pronounced it right. Dubbed the motivational Machiavelli by the Milestone Mag, Ibrahim's approach to personal development is ruthlessly pragmatic and thoroughly practical. His style of deconstructing and tackling problems from a practical perspective has propelled his daily email blast, Ibrahim in your inbox, to the top 20 most engaging newsletter list compiled by the Impact Tribune. His book, Charm Like a Narcissist, I like that title, has been translated into 7 languages and distributed in over 45 countries. It has found its way into several international reading lists and is discussed, cited, and studied in classrooms and student book clubs in over 12 universities. As a professional speaker, Dar talks about attracting attention, building a narrative, and creating connections. His words have reached over 2 million people, with 18,000 returning to consume his content regularly. He has given over 80 talks on improving social skills, accumulating personal power, and grabbing attention, including one at Middlesex University, Dubai, a university which he graduated in 2016 with a bachelor's degree in advertising, media, and public relations.
I love it. So, are you excited?
Right? That's
Hey,
enough.
he sounds incredible. He sounds awesome. He's having some IT things right now. He might be resetting his internet and then joining us. So what I'm going to do is hit our sponsors, see where he's at, and then you and I are going to dive into this. Thanks again to Jessica.
I need 2 seconds.
All right. 2 seconds. You ready? You get 1 whole minute. And go!
Hi, my name is Brandon, and over the past year, the Delight Cafe team and I traveled across the U.S. researching this rapidly growing industry of CBD products. What we have found throughout the industry were products that were inconsistent in dosage and used ingredients that weren't even lab tested. Products with chalky textures, bitter aftertaste, and worst of all, confusion among the CBD consumers. That's why we created Delight Cafe. A 15 milligram, lab-tested, all-natural, water-soluble hemp CBD powder pack. It's odorless, colorless, and tasteless. Add it to your favorite drink of choice, wherever, whenever, on the go. Quickly find your calm, your balance, and your delight when you need it most.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, we have an echo.
Oh, okay. Give me a second. I'm just gonna put on my earphones.
Take your time. I'll go to your website and read the bio.
Sure, perfect.
So, guys, I read part of his website this morning, and I was 100% just in awe of everything he's doing. You're being brainwashed, okay? Thought of the day. Hey, you're being brainwashed, and you cannot stop getting brainwashed because your brain absorbs, as my internet loads, your brain absorbs content, stories, opinions. An average person is exposed to over 5,000 ads every day to sell you what you must have. They make you feel as if you lack something. It is therefore essential to make a list of what you have, what makes you feel like you're enough. Review the list every morning so you start your day with gratitude. That is a great way of saying this. I love how he comes out with this right away, shares this, and he brings a positivity that I think is amazing on this because he writes something every week. Guys, this is going to be an interview you're not going to want to go anywhere from. If you're tired of being brainwashed, you're tired of having marketing come at you, you're tired of reading into everything, and feel like you're just being pushed down all the time, stay tuned. Ibrahim. I
think it's Ibrahim.
Ibrahim?
I think so. I think you'll help us correct now, but that's how I read it. So I do
Yeah,
apologize if it's wrong. But we've got quite a bit of Ibrahims having the Indian community and everything here from India. They brought the Indians from India as sugar cane slaves in our history. So Durban has got a lot of Indians, and there's a lot of Ibrahims and names from that.
Really?
Yeah.
So he's got an artistic mind. I was playing with his website, and like some of the stuff, like painting your cows. If you paint a cow like a zebra, it won't get bitten by flies. Why? Who cares why? I'm more interested in how they found this out. And that's something I want to know about. Did you know that?
I did not. I was
Right?
also reading that. I thought, what does that mean? Cryptic, all these cryptic messages, and I just want to know what it means. So,
Right?
I'm on connection.
And then it's one of these things where I'm sitting there. So if I paint myself like a zebra, does that mean the flies will leave me alone?
Maybe that's what it means.
I don't know.
Just buying the stuff so that people can leave you alone. Do you think maybe it's got to do with that?
I have no idea. I think his internet cut out though, because he was getting his headphones, and all I see is this now. Nope, he's getting his headphones still. There was an echo. Wait, I think he's back. How's that, buddy?
Okay, let me mute mine. Let's see if it's mine.
I can't hear you. Come on back, buddy. You're good. Take your time. We're going to talk about painting cows. And if Ilse dunks me in paint and I come out looking like a zebra, does that mean I will no longer get bit? He's laughing at that.
I want to know. I muted Jessica's mic. I don't know if it maybe came from her. So I don't know if we want to try again.
Let's try again. Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Third time's the charm. Can you hear me now?
Yes! There we go! And technical difficulties. We're excited you're here, though. Forget technical difficulties. I have so many questions. I want to start with your website right off the bat.
Yeah, this is gonna be this might be. Oh my god! So I might have to switch my internet provider and come again. Okay. So audio and video works. That's the good news. The bad news is that I have to switch my internet. All right. So it will just take a second.
You're good. Take your time. We will be here. I will pull you out when you come back. Give me a thumbs up. Yup. Ilse, I'm making you the star of the show right now. Talk to us about. All right. So I'm going to bring up his website, and that way when he comes back, like we'll be able to know more about him, what's going on. Internet issues have their things. Ibrahim, when you're ready, buddy. Where'd he go? There he goes. Give me a thumbs up when you think you're ready, and that way I'll keep an eye on you. Okay, buddy? Because I'm sure there's an echo too.
Did you put me on the spot now all by myself on the screen?
I did.
That's nasty. Why you do that?
That's nasty. I love it. Painting a cow. I want to know more about this, and it's because of don't operate as if you. So here, I'm going to read it. If you paint a cow to look like a zebra, it won't get bitten by flies. Why? Who cares? I'm more interested in how they found this out, and they found this out the way we find out most things: experimenting. Experiment and unlock new insights. Don't operate as if all of these. All there is to know. Not even in subjects you're an expert in. Who knows? Your cows might need painting. Ice cream tails. Let's just go right into ice cream trails. First off, I like the name because I love ice cream. I ate an entire piece of ice cream cake yesterday. God, it was delicious.
Stop it.
It was a Snicker M&M ice cream cake that I'm not supposed to eat, but it's one of my favorites, and I could not wait to eat it all up. And then we go into this next one where it's about the ice cream trails. When Ruben Matios got tired of discounting his ice cream, he decided to make high-end ice cream. To make it seem luxurious, he came up with a foreign-sounding label, Haagen-Dazs, a made-up word that means nothing. However, it sounds foreign enough to work. It works because people worship what's exotic, yet take for granted what's familiar. But remember, you'll never be foreign to yourself. Learn to appreciate what's familiar so that you can appreciate yourself. What a great, his words resonate with me in such a different way. I love this. So I got a thumbs up in the back, boom. And all right, you're here. I love it. I'm so excited you're here. First question, Ibrahim. Thank you. We both wanted to make sure we say it correctly. You have some amazing writing. You hit in 4 sentences a very deep part of people's soul, from ice cream to just the words they're choosing to knowing your worth and painting a cow. That my mind went crazy for that. How do you do this? How did you become who you are? Because I love you already.
Thank you so much. You're very kind. I'm so sorry for all these difficulties. They wouldn't have happened had my day went as planned. But I just decided to take a power nap. It just turned into a coma. So I woke up and I had to download all this information in my head, like what my name is. I didn't know anything. I woke up and I was like, okay, I'm a human. My name is Ibrahim. It was one of those sleeps. So yeah.
Everything happens as it's supposed to happen. Yeah, at the Java show, we just go with the flow, so don't even stress.
Okay, I like this. And you know what happened is I have this app called Mention that actually tracks my mentions on the web. So I received a notification that there's a show going on which I am a guest, and I'm like, how's this show going on? And then I opened it and I was like, oh, I'm coming on later. I thought I was doing a show and I didn't even know it. So yeah, and then Jessica, very insightful. So my internet was kind enough to allow me to listen to her, but just when the time was right for me to come on, it just started getting choppy on me. But yeah, very insightful guest.
Thank you. And you know what? She comes on every Thursday to talk about breakthroughs, from different things like finding your voice to literally something as telling the truth. And she brings on all her positivity, and we're grateful she's there. And I think it's interesting because we're talking today about finding your voice. And then all of a sudden, you're having all these IT issues. You're not hearing the voices that are being said to us. You don't even know if you're human. I'm like, this is divine. We are here together and all that. So, Ibrahim, how do you, what got you into writing? What got you into being big ideas, small posts? I love the saying. How did you come up with it to create this and inspire people?
So ultimately, it just is that I respect creativity like a lot of people respect or worship deities. It's like I believe creativity is this one dimension that we all have access to, and the more we put in the practice of being creative, the more easily we can access this dimension. So how did I come up with the title? It just came to me. But the difference is I just see it as my duty. Any idea that comes to me, it's my duty to execute it, to bring it into the world in the best possible way that I can.
No, go. I'll go then and get the next question.
I want to ask why painting, forget why it doesn't work, but or why it works, but why do you, what is this painting of cows? And I'm asking as a joke, if I were a cow and if I paint myself a zebra, does that mean flies won't bite me? It's a joke, but without knowing the science behind it, what inspired you to do that and to tell people to know that you're painting, that you're painting yourself? You might not understand everything. I got you. I saw your question in the comments.
Okay, so I believe your question is about I believe your question is about painting cows. That post specifically. I literally just read about, because I subscribe to a lot of knowledge channels and I consume different trivia. I just came across this weird piece of information, which was that if you paint a cow like a zebra, it doesn't get bitten by insects. And instead of thinking what everyone thinks, like different, like why this happens, I thought of how they figured it out, because somebody might have had to actually paint, like whether somebody had a hypothesis they wanted to test or somebody was just painting cows, somehow they got this piece of knowledge that no one seems to be looking for. Like, we can figure out how to fly planes because people were trying to find ways to travel to a different place without being at sea. But how do you find out how cows can be bitten less often? So questions that people don't even know, they don't know the answer to because no one's looking for them. How do you get that information? And it just interested me a lot. And ultimately it's about just following through with your interests and listening to people with interest as if they have something interesting, something new to offer. Like with your guest Jessica, I was listening quite closely what she had to say. No, I wasn't like, okay, I'm gonna come in when it's my time to come in. I was paying attention with an open mind that she might have something interesting to say, something new to add to my knowledge base, but also something to spark in my own memory that could help the show, for example. And it actually did towards the end. She was talking about yapping and then regretting that, and I have an amazing story about that. You want to hear it?
Yes. Yes, please. I want to hear your story.
Okay. So I was. This is back in school, towards the end of school, towards 12th grade. This was 2012. I was trying to lose weight because I had a slip disc, right? I had a slip disc. I don't know why I said right. It's not like you knew that, but still. Anyway, I had a slip disc, and the doctor was like, dude, the easiest way for you to like make sure that you continue walking is to walk a lot now, so you start losing weight. So I had an accountability partner, and we decided, because he too was fat and we're trying to slim down together. So we made a pact. It was like, we said, hey, our worst habit is we're addicted to junk food, right? And he's like, yep. I was like, okay, so we're gonna make a pact where if you are eating junk food, I'm gonna shame you. I'm gonna literally make you feel bad by calling you fatty repeatedly until you stop. And you'll do the same service for me. And we made this pact between us because we knew that when we were calling each other fat, it's not out of malice. It's not out of malice. It's because you care about me. So anyway, we made this deal. It was like, okay, if you eat junk food, I'll call you fat. If I eat junk food, you call me fat. And as a result, I reduced the amount of junk food I was eating. What happened with him was he just developed a thicker skin. Like, he just started tolerating being called fat. But this is for one specific instant where this went horribly. See, we were in a movie theater. Well, we were outside the movie theater because you start outside and then you go in. So we were outside and we go to the popcorn stand because this guy wants to have a tub of popcorn. And usually he gets salted popcorn, and my favorite is cheese popcorn. But somehow, just because he knew I wasn't going to break, he got cheese popcorn because that's my favorite. And he wanted to annoy me. But I was like, I was true to my pact. I started calling him fat right there. I was like, yo, fatty, okay, get your popcorn, fatty. And he's with me, and we go into the theater. He sits right next to me, right? And I sit, and I turn to my right, and I just repeatedly start calling him fatty, asking him to throw away his popcorn. Now, of course, the theater is dark and the movie is playing. Well, the trailers are playing because, they have like 2 hours of trailer, and only, I believe it's a conspiracy, only when they know that you're done with your popcorn do they start the movie. Anyway, so the trailers are playing. I'm just repeatedly calling him fat, and he's just developed a thick skin, so it doesn't affect him. So I'm basically just repeating it for myself. I don't know, but one thing happens. There's this bright screen that comes on because of some logo on white background, and the theater lights up for a second. I notice he's not sitting on my right. He's sitting on my left. And on my right is a lady who is pregnant. Oh my God.
Ouch.
Dude, I actually wished I did. In that moment, I wished I did not exist. Because you never call, first of all, you don't call a stranger fat, but also that's a lady and she's pregnant. And I felt so horrible. I just wanted to make it okay. So I was like, she was ignoring me, but I was like, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean it. I thought
Did
it
she
was my
not
friend's.
slap you?
And she's just completely ignoring me, right? And I got so desperate for her to feel like I was a nice person. I got so desperate that I was like, ma'am, trust me, I would never call a pregnant woman fat. And that's the first time she pays attention to me. She notices me for the first time, turns around and says, excuse me, who is pregnant?
Oh no.
She wasn't pregnant.
Oh my.
Oh man, I wish I hadn't yapped.
I have no words. I'm like,
Is that when you decided to give up popcorn completely? You're like, I need to get rid of something
So,
100%.
There's something about... Okay. So ultimately, just my point is... my point is, I wasn't always a charming guy. At some points, is just like, you should be glad you know me now than when I had the personality of a washing machine. It's like I've developed my personality. I've developed it to a great extent now.
talking about personality, you've got a book that says.
Okay, so
Elsa, you're going to have to write your question because of the delay. I'm sorry. Ibrahim.
Okay, not a problem. I'll write them.
You're going to have to... Yeah, we have to write our questions in the comments because of the delay. So I just wrote you one, Ibrahim. It's about your book.
Okay, so regarding my book, Charmed Like a Narcissist, thank you for actually liking the title. I too like the title, and this comes from just an awkward date that I have. I'm just talking of the title. The book itself is a different story. I'll tell you why I wrote this book, but why I chose this title is because I went on a weird date, and on dates there's one rule, and the rule is you don't discuss exes. And guess what we do? Within the first 5 minutes, we're discussing exes. I mentioned one ex, and then for some, I believe that gave her the legal right to discuss exes for the rest of the date. So she literally just went in chronological order, reverse chronological order with the last ex, and she kept going back, talking about all the exes she had problems with, and they seemed to be similar problems. And ultimately, while she was talking to me, she had an epiphany. She said, I think I'm attracted to narcissists. And I was thinking, oh my God, I am a narcissist. But I had never had that moment of self-awareness before, because nobody had laid it like that with examples of other exes. So in that moment, I realized that I might be narcissistic. And then I did some personality tests, and lo and behold, I had like 20% narcissism. And I just realized that a lot of traits that were positively social, that helped me develop my following, that helped me become a professional speaker, were things that were like that I owed to narcissism. For example, I don't take failure personally. Like, Brandon, if I applied to be on your show and you did not accept me, I wouldn't say, hey, maybe my content isn't good. I would say Brandon is just a horrible judge of guest quality. So I would not then take it personally, which means I will apply to the next podcast. And what normal people do is they take failure personally and then they don't try again. And another thing is, I will aim high because my narcissistic self believes that I deserve a lot. And guess what? Like, a reality TV host can aim at the president position and get it. Not every reality TV star might get it, but one might. And who knows, you might be that one. So being narcissistic in some instances helps. What I wanted to do was make a book where I could take the effect of being a narcissist, which is aiming high, trying repeatedly, these effects, and put them in like an order of exercises that people can do so they can be their most charming selves without being narcissists, without having the downsides of narcissism, which is the toxic effects on others, the crashing and burning, and then just the desire to get attention for the sake of attention and not any other goal.
And then her and I wrote a couple questions in there. With the delay,
Sure.
I'm kind of going to let you have those and run with them, because that way we're able to keep without the delay and have you be able to explain the amazing things you're doing.
Okay, so this might turn into a monologue, but you know, we could have created the illusion of conversation where you still read the questions you've written, and then I already know the question, and as you start reading it, I'd be like, oh. But anyway, it seems like we're not playing illusionist here. I'm literally gonna read them off the chat, and it's fine. It's fine. Okay, so you asked me first the title and then the book. Look, I'll tell you something about the book, man. I wasn't a good-looking guy. I was just an average-looking guy, and that too might be like consoling myself. I was hard to look at, and as a kid, it's brutal because other kids don't know any better, and you know, they're very honest. So I wasn't good-looking, and as I said, I had the personality of a washing machine, really. It's just rinse and repeat. So what that does is it makes you invisible. And at school age, that's not good. And I had to develop my personality one trait at a time for students who don't know any better, for kids who don't know any better, to like me and to want to hang out with me. And just developing that personality allowed me to survive a time where like my self-esteem could have gone like through the floor. It just helped me, having that personality helped me make connections, make friends I cherish. So I just wanted to write a book that would allow someone who has already survived all this time into their adulthood without developing the magnetic, compelling traits that come with like being charming. Like, I wanted to make charm and charisma accessible. And even right now, if somebody's like deciding to nope the fuck out of this podcast, I just want them to get a nugget already. All right, so before you leave, if anyone's gonna leave because of technical issues, look, charisma is someone who you think is special making you feel special. That's the whole book. Basically, it's how you can first of all position yourself where you seem special and then make others feel special. A lot of times what happens is people chase making others feel special. So they hear about Bill Clinton remembering names, and the fact that it had a charming effect. And they're like, oh, perhaps I too can be charming if I start memorizing names. And then they just come off as a creepy person who remembers someone's name from 5 years ago. It's like, dude, what are you doing? Now, Bill Clinton's memorization of names was charming because he actually was in a position of power. Him remembering a name wasn't about his memory, it was about his personality. But until you're the CEO or the manager or the supervisor, you remembering names is literally just you having a good memory. That does not charm anyone. So you have to seem special. And the number one way to seem special is to actually see yourself as special, so you carry yourself as if you are special. And then people pick up on it. It's not about, I'm going to place my arm here and my shoulder here and this is going to be my body language. No, body language is so natural and it flows, it's downstream from your mindset. So if you have a mindset where you believe you are special, that will actually reflect outwards. And then when people start seeing you as someone special, someone who has something unique about them, then when you treat them as if they're special, that creates that connection, that creates that charming effect. And this is where I'm going to drink water, let you riff on that a minute, so this is not a monologue. All right? And then we'll go on to the next question.
Perfect. I think that's a very interesting point. Like giving people the chance to charm like a narcissist. Like I love your analogy of Bill Clinton, because it really is, when the president remembers your name, it feels very powerful. So is your whole book stories about people and how narcissism, I hate to say it, could be like a positive thing? Is that the way I should take it?
Mm-hmm. So the book is about deconstructing narcissism. So it's literally just talking about different ways in which narcissism translates into personality. So we can take those positive personality traits and we can retain them, while at the same time keeping the negatives at bay. But I'm seeing that you are plugging my book hard, and that's heartwarming. Thank you so much. But here's the thing. For your customers, okay, I want them to take the money they would have put towards the purchase of this book and put them towards Delight CBD, a product which I cannot buy where I am because I'm in a Muslim Arab country, but still they can do it. All right. So here's the thing. I'm going to give a digital copy of the book for free to everyone who goes to the blog that you pulled up, right? My blog, IamIbrahim.com. Subscribe there with your details and you will receive these blog posts in your inbox before they're published online. And anyone who subscribes to the blog gets a digital copy of the book right away. So that's that. Just take the money you would have spent towards the book and just buy Delight CBD. Again, a product that I cannot buy in Dubai because it's an Arab Muslim country, but still, good for the people who can.
You can always move to South Africa if you want. It's legal, yeah?
So, because the delay is still plaguing this podcast, but we're going to power through. I'll tell you something, guys. So, you have one of the written questions here is, what can others receive from this book? Others can receive two main things. One is they can receive tactics that they can use to ascend to powerful positions, because it's much easier to charm from a position of power, right? When someone who is like a rich billionaire is weird, we just say he's eccentric. Same person, if they didn't have a lot of money, it would be like, that's a weirdo. So ultimately, a lot of times in life, tangible positions of success offset a lot of personality failures, right? So the first part of the book is it just allows you to have that mindset. It allows you to develop a strategy that puts you in a position from where charming people is literally just being nice to people. So the book will teach people how they can ascend to those positions and also how they can easily charm people. So these are just two things that people can get, and ultimately this will help them if they have jobs to get noticed, to get promoted more, if they have a business to get better business deals, because ultimately people, what they like to do is they rationalize that we're working with this business because they're this and this, but ultimately people just like a fun hang. See, Brandon, if your audience just notices that your podcast is fun, they don't care that your CBD is organically sourced or from tested and this and this percentage. They're like, these are fun guys, I'm gonna buy from them. And that's literally how the world works. So much of success in life is about being a fun hang. And I know we've all been told that we're a fun hang by the people who coincidentally or just ironically keep rescheduling plans to meet us, because we're not actually fun hangs. They're just saying it to be nice. But if we actually learn how to be a fun hang, to be fun to hang out with, so many opportunities open up. And with this book, I genuinely believe that even if you take like one nugget in this book, it will just transform your success rate in love, life, and just your business. So just the fact that you can add something to your personality, the way you tell stories, for example, the way you carry yourself, the way you get out of a rut, so many things in this book. And the best thing about me is that I have a short memory. So I literally did not remember my birthday, by the way. So I have a short working memory, and that allows me to be creative, because the ideas that I might have ignored last time come to me fresher with different other ideas, and then they just collide with each other and new ideas are formed. So it helps me be incredibly creative. But the best part is I write a book and I go back and I read the book and I've already forgotten what I've written, and I'm reading it and I'm like, wow, this is fire. Cause I didn't actually remember the stuff I have written, and I'm like, I'm loving the book as I'm reading it, and it's so apt for the title, Charm Like a Narcissist, because there couldn't be anything more narcissistic than literally reading your own book. But I have made the book such that it is accessible for people who don't even like reading books. So even if you check out the free preview on Amazon, you can see it's like punchline after punchline after punchline. It's like rewarding. It just carries you through. It's a breeze to go through. So even if someone doesn't identify as a reader, it's just like, much like my blog post, it's quite interesting. It carries you through.
I have questions right here. I was pulling them up. Did you always want to be an author and speaker when you grew up?
Oh my God. I was like, dude, I wasn't born a writer. I was born a baby. And I tried to write, but I was discouraged at every step, as if my English teacher's job literally was to make sure I don't write English. So it's a second language to me. You know, I literally had to see, I'm a Pakistani and born and brought up in Dubai. Okay. So I had to learn English, and they taught me wrong. Like, everyone who taught me spoken English was an Indian or a Pakistani teacher. So if I hadn't improved my accent and learned how to pronounce properly, I would be speaking like this. If I did not learn how to remember or speak English, that would have been my accent, because that's how my teachers spoke. So I literally had to teach myself how to speak properly. And you know, I hired an accent coach, and she heard me and she said, hey, you actually are pretty clear in how you speak. I can understand what you're saying, so why do you want to change your accent? I was like, I just don't want to sound like I'm speaking from a call center, because I want to professionally coach people and professionally speak to a broader audience. And she then taught me how to speak with a better, clearer accent. So I am so committed to changing everything that doesn't work without taking personally anything I have to change. And that involves writing a piece of fiction that was so bad that my teacher physically facepalmed right in front of me. This was back in grade 7. So I wrote a short story after watching the anime called One Piece. It's quite popular now. Wasn't that popular back then. So I saw this anime. The story was inspiring, so I decided to write a story. I wrote a short story. It was a bad one, I can see in hindsight, because I had assumed so many things that I knew that I just assumed that the other person would know about the characters and everything. And I wrote it and I entered it into a short story competition. That's usually not the right place to start, because people are putting their best work and you don't want to put your first work there. So she was reading it, and then she physically facepalmed and just threw that piece away. And she literally said that, hey, writing is not for you. And I tried again and again and again until I could write acceptably. And I tried more than 8 times before my first thing was literally just acceptable for her to finish reading. Because she wouldn't finish reading. Halfway through, she would throw it away. But I tried again and again. And I'll tell you why I tried again. Because I heard of a very inspiring story, and I believe it will help your guests as well. It will help your guests with whatever they want to achieve. So you got to pay attention to this, because this is a story of a Pakistani woman who was born in a Pakistani village. I know her. And since she was born, back then culture was a lot more towards gender roles, right? And ever since she was born, she dreamed of being a mother, and that's what she wanted to do. And the culture around her enabled this as well. They put a lot of her self-esteem in being a mother. Hey, having a baby is the best thing you can do if you are a woman. What would be amazing is if somebody just joined the stream right where I was saying that without context, thinking, what is going on? Why is this guy talking about that being the only thing? But look, that's what she was told, and she had accepted it. She had absorbed it. A lot of her personality, her future was in it, and she got to marry a guy with whom she wanted to have babies. But she realized upon their first conception, within the first trimester, that she couldn't carry the baby to term. It was a premature abortion. Automatically the baby just dropped. She ended up in the emergency ward fighting for her life. And she tried the next year. So she tried 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and every single year she ended up in the emergency ward at a hospital. And it just started getting so risky for her to do it, but she continued doing it because she wanted to have a baby so bad. And then to make it worse, the guy's family started pressurizing him to like marry someone with whom he can have a baby, because in Pakistani culture, having babies counts for a lot. Dude, I have 52 first cousins. And I told my dad, hey, do you know I counted and I have 52 first cousins? And he's like, I have more than that on my father's side, and my collective is over 150. I'm like, weird flex, but okay. But I asked him, I'm like, I asked my grandpa, I was like, why did you have so many kids? And my grandpa said, like, if you have enough kids, like, one of them is bound to make you proud. So for him, it was a game of statistics. Anyway, my point is, in Pakistani culture, so much of the emphasis is like continuing your lineage, and that guy was being repeatedly pressured by his family to just marry someone with whom he can have babies. But he kept trying with this woman. So now they've tried 7, 8, 9 times already. And it's like every single time, dude, 1 month passes, 2 months pass, third month, they have that dreaded feeling, oh my God, this might happen. And it happens. The baby drops. She can't carry the baby to term. It's dead. And she's in the emergency ward trying not to be dead every single year. This is going on 8 years in a row. Imagine what that does to someone's self-esteem. And this is 9th time she's in the ward. And while she's at the ward, the guy's family is pressuring him to marry someone else. And they actually present an option, like an arranged marriage option. And dude, he got so mad. He's like, look, I want to have a son or a daughter more than you want to have a grandkid or a granddaughter or a nephew or a niece. I want to have kids more than you. But not if the price I have to pay is to break this woman's heart. So if I'm going to have a baby, it's going to be with this woman or with no one else. And then they try for the 10th time. 1 month passes. 2 months pass. 3rd month. Again, she's in the emergency ward. The baby is like aborted. So now he's at the end of his rope. Technology hasn't arrived in Pakistan back then where they could have a surrogate. So he's literally considering a vasectomy. So he goes to the doctor's office for a consultation. Doctor's like, look, the problem is not with you. The problem is with the woman. Okay? And basically, if you want to only have a baby with her, you better make your peace with not having a baby at all and get a vasectomy. And he walks out of the consultation room, and the woman, his wife, is in the waiting area. She asks him, what did the doctor say? He looks her in the eye and he says, the doctor said, this time we're going to have a baby. And then on the way back, they actually buy sweets and they take them to the village and they distribute them, and they said that we're gonna have a baby and we've decided the name's gonna be Qasim, okay? 1 month passes, 2 months pass, 6 months pass, 8 months pass. 9 months later, my elder brother Qasim is born.
Wow.
So you see, the fact that if my mother had not tried 11 times in a row, I wouldn't exist, I wouldn't be here, means that, hey, what if my first or second or even 9th story is too shitty for my teacher to finish? I'm going to try at least 11 times. And with anything I try in life, I try at least 11 times because I owe it to my existence. See, you might be born out of love, lust, or just poor decision making, right? Poor planning. I am born out of persistence. That's the difference. So for me, it's like I have to do whatever I set my mind to persistently. For you, it might be you got to do what you love because you're born out of love. I'm just born out of just like a working mentality to repeatedly keep doing until it works. So that's how I became a writer. That's how I became a good writer. It was like, you cannot do this. I'm like, I will show you. Thank you for calling that a beautiful story.
I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to try. Do you think that a lot of people have narcissism in them?
Okay, so when we're born, we cry for milk and we don't actually ask permission or look at who else is there or whether somebody's in a meeting or in a Zoom call. We just cry. And that's narcissistic. We're ego-centered and we believe that everyone has to serve us. And here's the thing. As we start growing up, we develop a theory of the mind, which means we start noticing that other people too have minds like ours. So as a result, we start changing how we feel about ourselves and we start accommodating others. Some accommodate others more and become people pleasers and are then used as doormats. Some adjust more functionally and are able to balance the give and take of society. And some of us literally don't grow up. In that, we remain ego-centered. We're like, it's all about us, and we just grow outwardly, and that's how narcissists persist. So ultimately, everyone has the potential growing up to be a narcissist. That was weird emphasis. A narcissist because if they are completely ignored, it comes out as a defense mechanism. It's like, oh, you think I'm not shit? Well, I think I'm the shit regardless of what anyone thinks. Or it can be because your parents never said no, so you literally didn't develop that that sudden moment of realization where, oh, maybe I'm not the main character in this story. So you just walk around like you're the main character. Either way, it's okay to be narcissistic as long as it does not have ill effects on others. But the problem with narcissists, unlike people who are just charming like a narcissist, is that they are not self-aware. The people who just learn to take what is charming about the cult leaders who develop these massive followings and just do that in their own life, is that they also have the gift of self-awareness, which gives them an edge over narcissists. A narcissist doesn't, first of all, know why people are following them. So they just believe that they're just this great personality, and whatever they do, nothing can affect how compelling they are to their own people. And before they know it, they've tweeted the wrong thing, they've said the wrong thing, they've done something wrong, and suddenly, as a result, the people are disillusioned. And there's always a crashing with narcissists. With people who just develop a healthy theory of mind and grow considering others, having empathy and all of that good stuff, and then seeing, oh, narcissists' failure to take failure personally works for them. Narcissists' high aim works for them. Narcissists' personal myth of greatness works for them. Just knowing those things and then incorporating in their own life makes them a well-rounded, better, charming person.
So you're getting comments about how amazing you are and how you're inspirational and all that.
Okay, so you're talking about okay. So right now, all I heard was because of the delay. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the private chat and I'm going to pick up the last thing you've mentioned, which is that the way you end each show is giving a positive affirmation for the audience. Okay, so we can get into that. If we're ready, if we're in the tail end of the show, you can start by giving your positive affirmation and just give me a thumbs up once you both are done, and then I will go with mine. All right, let's go.
Love it.
I going first. Hi, we had a very jam-packed episode today with wearing our emotions on our sleeves, embracing our the throat chakras, and saying how we feel, to being self-confident or self-conscious about our broad challenge. All I want to say is just push forward. We are almost there. Tomorrow is Friday. Ibrahim gave us so many tips on just how to go through life and everything, and I'm sending positive vibes and lots of love to all you guys. Stay strong.
Thank you, as always, for having me on today. It was a great conversation. And Diana Hardy said, it only takes one voice at the right pitch to start an avalanche. And I think that from that, we can really understand the power of the voice if we choose to use it. And I think that one of the biggest things we need to decide is how we're going to use it. There's a quote I'd like to finish with from Nicole O'Neill that says, when you find the courage to use your voice, it has the power to positively inspire and change the lives of others. It's one of the special gifts you have to offer the world and is something to be cherished and championed, never hidden. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week.
Very well said from both of you. Thank you, guys. I have to just sit back for a second and be in awe of the universe and how things play out. Last night I lie down at 10 o'clock at night and I'm reading a book, and all of a sudden a note card falls out of the book, or a business card, and it was from someone very special that's believed in me a lot, and it was the chapter they wrote in this book. And seeing the note from them was one where it was like, finding your voice is difficult, but being able to connect with each other, see the individuals for who they are, and bring out the best is something everybody's striving for. And hearing one another through charm like a narcissist or what, it's building up your best you. And Ibrahim has provided such a strong storyline for everything he's doing. Guys, go subscribe. His book is, he's giving away a free copy for all listeners, and it would be honored for all of you guys to go do that, because even his short little paragraphs he does daily, God, they're impactful, they are meaningful, and they are amazing. And yeah, so guys, do me a favor, go subscribe. And Ibrahim, you could start now. I'm giving you the thumbs up.
Okay, so for my positive affirmation is going to be a quote from myself. See, that's charmed like a narcissist, staying true on brand to narcissism. But to be honest, look, all jokes aside, here's the thing. If you mess up, everyone reminds you that you messed up. And in fact, if you lose the way to your home, you will remember it. But every day you reach home and you don't remember, hey, I reached home properly. But the day you miss a turn, you're going to remember. So when you mess up, you remind yourself, and everyone else around you reminds you. But what about the times you don't mess up? So make sure to count your virtues, to have a balanced view of yourself. Most of us have a view that leans negatively because the world reminds us that we've messed up, because the world reminds us that we had IT tech issues. Okay? If a podcast goes smoothly, I'm not going to remember it, but IT issues, I'm going to remember it. So we always tend to remember issues. See, you gotta remember the good things. So please make it an exercise to write down at least 5 victories today. 5 victories. Doesn't matter the size of the victory. It might just be you managed to smile throughout the day. So just 5 victories. Remember to write them down, read them out loud, count your virtues, because everyone else counts the flaws. Let them do that. Thank you.
Wow. I honestly, Ibrahim, you're welcome back anytime. You have now you'll get it. But you're welcome back anytime. I'm super excited. I subscribed before the show even started. I've seen a couple other people hit subscribe. Guys, write down your 5 victories today. I'm going to make a picture and post it on social media. I want everybody to write their 5 victories today and read them out loud to themselves, because that will show positivity to the world. Guys, this is Delight Cafe. Thank you for tuning in. Jessica Dugas, thank you for being here. Ilse, you're still a South African queen. And Ibrahim, please come back anytime, my friend. You were such a spark of light, so thank you, my friend. Guys, have a great day.